Alright, so earlier this year I lost a job due to the fact that I didn't have enough cold weather portfolio and like experience showing, that kind of stuff. So we're changing that this week. So, long story short, I needed to be out in the cold. I needed something that could fit ballpark with my NGO type work, the travel work, off the grid type thing. And I happen to have friends that live in Calgary, which makes it the perfect place to go and visit some friends. And I happen to get some super cheap flights. My round trip tickets were just around $400 US, which is ridiculous for the holidays. So I'm super stoked. We're gonna cue the travel montage now. What's up, everyone? It is morning of day one. We're up at Lake Moraine. I'm super stoked. We're out. It's cold. Not super cold though, which is nice. Yeah, these mountains are already gorgeous. Alright, so we just finished up at location numero uno. Trying to figure out my way back out of here to get back to the car. Yeah, no, it was great. Great start to the day. Not too cold here, so makes it easy to ease my way in. But I think the weather kind of helped keep it a little warmer. So it's only like -2 Celsius, so it's like in the 20s. At least that's what it was when we got here. Don't know what it is now. But as you can see, pretty awesome out, and it's quite light. The lake was making some super cool sounds, so it was super enjoyable, and I'm saying a lot of supers, but it was fun. Great start. Now it's food time. Pause for a hot second. All right, gotta explain. Afternoon, our location, we didn't actually get there. So we hiked all this way in, and because of the warm weather in the area, long story short, we couldn't get across a stream because it wasn't frozen, which is what we needed to get to the cave we were trying to go to. And we were so busy hiking that forgot to explain that little tidbit, so montage. It is clearly morning. We did a pre-sunrise hike out to Chester Lake area. It was about an hour and 20-minute hike up, and it was a little grueling. I ended up carrying snowshoes on my bag, so we were able to trample around a little bit in this little meadow we're in. We got some big mountains right there. I'm currently waiting for that cloud to move away from there. So yeah, it's been a great start to the morning. It was like -10, -8, -10 when we got started this morning. I don't know what it is now, but we're layered up and having some fun. All right, so the big thing, not just like getting out here and shooting, which is awesome and fun and hanging out with a friend, but actually getting out and like understanding the layering of clothes, that kind of stuff. That's kind of one of the big things for me, is being able to just have that base knowledge to be able to say like, yeah, I can do this job because I know how to do it. I may not be like super seasoned expert at going out in super cold weather and things like that, but I have some experience to know like what I need to bring, when I'm going to use what, and so on and so forth. And plus I get a little bit of Canadian Rockies, so that's not too bad either. Wrap this up with 3 quick pointers, tips, whatever you want to call it, about shooting in cold climates that I learned while I was up in the Banff and Calgary area. The first one is layers, layers, layers. When we were up at Chester Lake, I was wearing 4 layers, but when we were hiking in, I was only wearing 2 layers on the top because I was creating so much heat that I didn't want to totally soak my shirt and then have it stay super wet inside. So I stripped down to the minimum number of layers that I was warm but not sweating, and I was able to get a lot more warmth by building up my heat and then putting my jackets on when we got to our shoot location and warming myself up. That was a little tip from Rachel Jones Ross. I'll put a link to her Instagram down below. Awesome friend. And yeah, so I was wearing different Eddie Bauer layers for the most part. The reason I wear Eddie Bauer for the pretty much exclusively is the fact that they make tall, skinny people sizes. It's not easy for me to find clothes when you're 6'6" and a stick. So their clothes actually fit me really well. And I bought clothing for the purpose of layering. So this blue jacket was my outer layer, and I bought this as an XL tall, which goes over this jacket, which is my kind of regular everyday jacket, but it's also kind of like my mid layer in this situation, and that's a large tall. So this easily fits over, and we are able to trap that heat in all nice. And then I had a similar fleece like this on underneath it with a long sleeve merino wool. And then for pants, I was rocking these Columbia snow pants that I had, which brings me to my second point, which is not every item that you have is going to be perfect for every situation. Perfect example is these snow pants. These are prime snow pants for like resort skiing, resort snowboarding, that kind of thing, where you're not really hiking and bending over and climbing around trees and that kind of stuff. They work great for keeping me warm, but I actually ripped a little bit of the crotch insulation out when I was trying to climb under a tree one of the days. And so, long story short, as much as they kept me warm, they didn't have enough ventilation for when I was really sweating, and so my legs got really warm. And they also just were very clumsy and not really the best for this exact situation. I've been researching since then some different pairs of snow pants that would work better, and yeah, so it's just a matter of finding the right things that work for what you're doing. So if you're hiking and that kind of thing, these ones were not the best option. On a brighter note, these gloves from the Heat Company that both Rachel and my buddy Nate Lueb, I think I got Nate's last name right, suggested from a company called the Heat Company, and they are absolutely amazing because they are mittens, and I wear a glove liner underneath it, but I could pop my hands out, my fingers out, and operate the camera, and then stick them back in, keeping them nice and warm. And there's actually a little pocket for the heat packs, which was super handy and really kept my hands nice and toasty. Make sure you buy these a little large. Their sizing is a little funky, and I bought the pair that's supposed to fit my hand, but it was too small. So food for thought. I'll put another link down below. And my last tip is make sure you know your equipment through and through. Doesn't matter what camera you're using and that kind of thing. Make sure you know every button that you might need to press to be able to get what shot you need. The reason for that is when you're using gloves and glove liners and things like that, and you're shooting in the cold, I found that after about 4 or 5 minutes, my fingers really started to get chilly, even with the glove liner. And so it would be a matter of operate the camera as quick as I can and then stick it back in the mitten for a minute while, if I was doing like a long exposure, while I was exposing, I would put my fingers back in the mitten to warm them up a little bit and then bring them back out. And that's where knowing my equipment inside and out and knowing where every button that I needed, what it would do, that kind of thing, and knowing exactly how to make everything give me the images that I was looking for, yeah, you get the picture. So that's all I got for this video. Be sure you leave a comment down below. If you have any tips and tricks for other people that you may have thought of that I didn't mention, leave that in the comment section, and so we can get a little community going talking about this kind of stuff. This is all new to me, so I love seeing new tips and tricks and ideas of ways to work efficiently and capture great content in cold climates. Be sure you hit that subscribe button so you are notified for the next video, because I'm sure it's going to be a great one. Other than that, have a great week. I'll see you next time.